Shalom, family. Most High Christ bless. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless. Most High Christ bless. Walk in the spirit of burn forever, right? You can't go to, you're not able to go to these feasts or hold rank because you got somebody at the house that don't believe. Your house is not in order. Or vice versa. You can't be considered a single sister if you marry. You got a husband at home that don't believe in the truth, that won't follow this. But the love of many shall wax cold, and at some point you got to give in. I'm telling you, some people just so stuck on somebody in the world. Leadership just been going over this recently for the past. Bishop Nathaniel specifically been going over like the wicked in the world. Yes, whether it's your wicked husband, your wicked wife, some point you gotta let them go. If Nathaniel specifically been going over like the wicked in the world. Yes, whether it's your wicked husband, your wicked wife, some point you gotta let them go if they ain't for this truth. You doing all kind of wickedness. The Bible says that's death. That's death. And it's not a normal death, y'all. It's not a normal death. The death is going to be flames and fire. That ultimate death. Listen, this is the last round. You die now and you in sin and wickedness, you done. You can't come back and think you're going to be different in the next. You got another chance. No, you're done.
Shalom, family. I just want to say something. My mommy just passed. I'm so hurt. But you have all these so-called Christians. Oh, stop crying. They're going to a better place. Why the hell you ain't went that in? Why in the hell is you still sitting on this earth when you sit there and say going to a better place, they going to be with their daughter, etc. Whoever died in their family, they're going to all be together. Why the hell your ass won't go there? Think about that. Why you still sit here? Why you ain't went yet? And if that was true, why everybody crying? It's not with the Israelites. That is some crap. Man, that junk got me so bad. Everybody stop crying. Stop crying. Look, I know that. But dang. If we got better options, why we still sitting there? Hell
praises
here.
And the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha Ha Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you other elders and brethren, fellow believers of this faith, you fellow believers, you supporters of this truth, even you few sisters, and shalom to the elect. So I want to touch on this video, which we know this is what Iuic teach, but I want to go back because this is proven. Even Bishop Nathaniel admitted that there's certain things along with the government they must comply with. So, this is why, the name is an issue, but they have rap songs about Bishop Nathaniel, as you heard in the beginning, if you can hear it. So you had this woman here who says her mother passed and she's in mourning and suffering, and they don't believe that anyone who dies, and if they are not in the Lord, okay, they're not going to come back. It's a lot to gravitate, but they don't believe that you're going to come back. You're going to wake up, you're going to be destroyed, and then you're going to burn forever in a lake of fire. The scriptures say forever, but there's different forevers, okay? But I want to go into that because this also coincides with the Sakari, because they were talking about the wives. I believe I put that in there, that you must have a believing wife or a believing husband. We'll get into that too. And this is probably why Sakari, who's absolutely united with the IUIC, is having a problem with Paul saying the things he said about the unbelieving wife and husband. Because we'll get into that too, because he said, I say this, not the Lord. And so there's a whole lot of issues with that. When we're going to also show you an example of what Apostle Paul said is the same thing pretty much Yahushua said. So anyway, so we're going to expose these fraudsters with the scriptures and move forward in the doctrine. This woman is hurting. I don't know. I was going to get the scriptures. The scripture says all go to one place. You know what? Let me get that real quick. You can even get the book of Job, I believe the 3rd chapter. The wicked cease from trembling. They say that's just the grave, but when you go to what this scripture says, it'll prove it all. So when you go to Ecclesiastes 3:20, now it's tricky because I'm gonna read it, and they believe this scripture. Ecclesiastes 3:20, all go to one place, all are of the dust, and all turn into dust again. So they believe that. They know everybody go to the spirit world, but what they're teaching is in the last hour, the last generation, when this place is set to be destroyed, that you're not going there anymore. Okay, you're going to die and you're going to burn forever. So what they teach now is anyone who has died that's a family member or your loved one, they're going to wake up to get judged with fire, right? They don't believe in the hell underground, but they do believe the hell on earth, the lake of fire like Gehenna, and they'll burn in that lake forever. That's what they teach. Now, according to having some understanding, right, just pure understanding, they believe in reincarnation. So I believe they believe Yahushua, Adam, Isaac, Solomon, so forth. Now, Solomon, he did die, right? And he did sin in his old age. And everybody say it was from the multiple wives. It had nothing to do with multiple wives, but the heathen that he was messing with. It was only a few of them, I believe. So he came back as Yahushua. I'm going to the doctrine that they teach, and we believe this part too. So he comes back as Yahushua to pay for his sins. And then he's resurrected and to die for the nation of Israel. Let me say that. To die for the nation of Israel and still what he had done in the past. So that right there tells you the Lord had mercy on his son, and he's going to have mercy on the children of Israel, right? Now, when you get to the nitty gritty of it, Matthew 10:23, it says, "O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps." So once you read this, you understand that there's 2/3 that are set for destruction in general from the beginning. So it's almost like if the Lord decided he wanted all to be saved, but then they decide, well, I'm going to go off and I'm going to sin. Now you're kind of saying the Lord is not in control and he's mad and he's going to burn 2/3 up and they're going to burn forever. That doesn't sound like the righteous, holy power that we believe and witnessed in this truth. Like the Lord just doesn't have his mind made up. Also, I'll go to the fact that when you read we're going to get into that too, the book of Hebrews, right? These guys teach that we are in a new covenant. There's a reason for that. And it's to support the hell doctrine, the burning forever doctrine. That's why they do that. And Sakari has an issue with the book of Hebrews, but I don't believe they believe that as well. So anyway, it gets wild. It gets wild with these guys' doctrines, but it's our job to break it down. Romans 11:26. "And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer," right? "And shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob." How will that happen? The elect will be delivered, and through the elect, the ungodliness will be turned from all of the children of Israel. It's a shame that this woman is sitting up here and she believed that her mama, right, who didn't wake up to the truth, is going to burn in hell forever, right? In the hell on earth, let me say that. Really, it's not the same, but it is kind of. They just did a tweak in the Christian church, man. This woman believes that. And you can see it in her face. Right? Not everybody's meant to get the truth. It wasn't meant for everybody. So we're going to go into some commentary as well. And hopefully we can wrap this up a little bit. So we want to go into Matthew? Was it Matthew? 19 and 9. And this is what Yahushua said, right? And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife except for fornication. Now this word fornication goes to several different definitions. We'll get into that. And shall marry another. What this is talking about? The same thing Paul was speaking of in the church of Corinth. They were putting away their wives, right? They were putting away their wives and go marrying other women. And the women that they were marrying, see, that's why they won't go into it too much in here. That's why you have to do your research, right? Because they'll believe, see, that means you're only supposed to have one wife. No, they were putting away their wives and they were marrying other women who had just got put away from other husbands. We was following a heathen custom, right? Whosoever shall put away his wife except be for fornication and shall marry another committeth adultery, right? And whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery. Why is he saying this? The same thing Paul was speaking of in the church. Let a bishop be blameless, the husband of one wife, meaning the bishops, some of the bishops had many wives, but what they were doing, once you go into the commentary and read, you will see that they were putting away wives that was already married, and they was marrying wives that was married and putting away wives because they didn't agree with some of the things they was being taught. So the only way the bishop would be blameless if he didn't marry a woman who possibly was already put away from another husband for something ridiculous. Kind of like what Jake do today. Jake will meet a woman, first time mess with her, he don't want her no more. She's a virgin, he lays with her, he don't want her, and he goes on to somebody else. And he tries to reckon the women and screw their lives up, man. These were men doing this. And this is exactly what the IUIC is doing, man. These women who are in these churches, right, they have husbands, and some of these men have wives. And you're telling them to put them away. Now, of course, Paul was saying this in the hopes that it would bring them together, but who are you? The Most High is the one put that union together. Who are you to say that the person that don't believe won't eventually get it? You could be casting off a righteous person. There's more prophecy to be fulfilled. The doors of mercy are still open. Why are you shutting the doors of mercy on people who may get it? This is not making sense. So, this word fornication goes to illicit sexual intercourse, adultery, fornication. Now, when you go into the old, just to make it simple, you had the worship of our people who it said not to give their daughters and their sons to the sons and daughters to other gods because they was practicing with the other gods. Then the sexual acts came along with that. It wasn't about so much the sexual act. Ultimately it was, but the following of the other gods. So anyway, illicit sexual intercourse, adultery, sexual intercourse, divorce with a divorced man or woman, the defilement of idolatry as incurred by eating the sacrifice offered to idols. So there's so many definitions for this word in fornication. So when you go into the other definitions, it says basically by adultery. So let's go here. Okay, read a little commentary real quick. Whosoever shall put away his wife, the question to which the law thus proclaims gives rise has been discussed in Matthew 5 and 32. One serious difference has, however, been noticed, where in the earlier from the precept we read, caused her, the woman put away for any cause but adultery, to commit adultery. we have here more emphatically as bearing on the position of the husband. In such a case, the statement that by contracting another marriage commits adultery. Right? So now another part of the fornication is not just sexual act, right? Also, if you have a wife, she's unbelieving, right? But then there's a situation where she doesn't want to listen to you, she don't want to obey you, she want to just leave anytime she wants, do whatever she wants. You know, that's uncalled for, because that's being totally out of order. This is why Paul said about what he was talking about divorce as well. Anyway, it says the statement by the contracting another marriage commits adultery. The utmost that the law of Yahushua allows in such a case is a divorce, right? The legislation which permit the complete divorce on the other grounds, such as cruelty or desertion on either side, is justified. See, that's what I was just reading. So as far as it's justifiable at all, on the grounds of hardness of heart, which makes such concession necessary. So when we go, it goes on to a precept of 1 Corinthians 7 and 10, and it says, but to the married I give instructions, not I, but the Lord. Right? It says here, not I, but the Lord. Okay? That the wife should not leave her husband. He's quoting in the law, right? But if she does leave, she must remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband, and that the husband should not divorce his wife. But then it goes on to say, but I say to the rest, I say not the Lord. So now this is where Zachariah and them have the issues, because he was talking to these Pharisees. He was dealing with the wickedness of this church and what was going on, and they was quoting the laws. If they don't believe, they don't do this, they don't do that, then you got to get rid of them. But this is what Paul is saying, because a lot of our people were lost, and now Yahushua came, and Yahushua died to bring us back through mercy, through grace and faith. So now we must show mercy on our loved ones, okay, on our wives, non-believers, which is the Israelites. Okay, it says that if any brother has a wife, okay, this is going into context, any brother have a wife who is an unbeliever and she consents to live with him, he must not divorce her. Why is that? Because if you divorce her and she goes and mess with somebody else, you can ruin, basically in a weaker vessel, you can ruin this woman, because now she's going to go try to find herself another husband. You've just destroyed what was set up between y'all, right? And then when that doesn't work, you know how it goes in 2024. They know now it's all broken. So now they're going to go here, there, and 50,000 other places. That's all I can say. Best way to say it. And if a woman who has an unbelieving husband, he consents to live with her, she must not send her husband away. This is the reason why this is being said, because this was going on in the churches. When you really go into the stories and the reading and the understanding of what happened, this is what was going on. They were passing them around, getting rid of them, cutting them off, right? Doing all manners of evil. And then they used the Bible to do it. That's what the Pharisees were about. That's why Yahushua said, do as they say, but don't do as they do. Now Yahushua is back to bring us back through faith and mercy. This is why these guys say about the law, you take off your shirt, you done took off the law. If you took off your fringes, you took off the law. The fringes are not the law, by the way. Fringes are not technically the law. You can say it is the law, but the law is within you. The spirit of faith and mercy and grace in Yahushua, faith in Yahushua. That's the main part of the law. The first commandment, to love the Lord with all your heart. There's a lot of guys with fringes that's wicked as hell. Fringes don't make you a righteous man. They need to understand that. There's a lot of people with fringes that's wicked as hell. Let's go into the book of Hebrews. Let's see what this says. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. They're talking, this group teaches that those days is when Yahushua died. Now we understand that when Yahushua died, went to the spirit world, the day of the Lord is 1,000 years, right? So it hasn't been that long to the Lord. In fact, he hasn't finished. That's making it seem like he's finished. See, that's a Christian church doctrine. Yahushua hasn't finished. The one you call Jesus is on the way. He hasn't finished. Right? This is why they teach that. Because watch what it says. Saith the Lord, I will put my laws in their mind. So in IUIC teaches we are already in the laws, and we have all the laws because we're in a new covenant. That's bull crap. And this is why they have to change that hell doctrine around and teach that the people on this side, when they die, the 2/3 die, they're going to burn forever. Because if they don't teach that, and you read this, and it says, I will put my laws in their mind, right? And write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people, meaning the whole house of Israel. That's why it said, I will make a covenant with the house of Israel. And this is where it gets confusing, because they teach we're in a new covenant, so then we already have the laws. So wait a minute. This is talking about the whole house of Israel. You know that. And then when it goes on, it says, no man should teach every man his neighbor, saying, know the laws from the least to the greatest. So we're going to look up this word house. The whole house of Israel. We all know it could be in a building. You know, the words that spell the same different in meaning. But when you go down to the, it says a place that's fixed for residence, one settled abode, those definitions. But it says the family of God, Christian church, of the church of the Old and New Testament, stock, family, descendants of one. So the whole house of Israel will be saved. Okay? The elect will be delivered, but the whole house of Israel shall be saved. Right? So we go to Isaiah 10, and it shall come to 10 and 20, and it shall come to pass in that day a remnant of the house of Israel, a remnant of Israel, let me say that. That's why it says a remnant. It's not saying the whole house. And this is complete madness that we have to clean up, but this is part of the work. The Lord's going to have us work. We got to keep working. And it shall come to pass in the day that the remnant of Israel, such as are escaped from the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the Mighty One. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. Right. So the Lord is only out for the elect. The Lord Yahushua said, forgive them. So starting with the elect, but ultimately the whole house of Israel. That's who he died for. Starting with the elect mainly right now, because through the elect was who's going to bring the whole house of Israel. So that Hebrews 8 kills it all. He said, I will make a new covenant with the whole house of Israel. Well, wait a minute. If he's going to make a covenant, the new covenant with the house of Israel, and I will put my laws into all these people's heart. Well, do you see our people today? How the hell is this the new covenant? I'm still having a problem with that. We're in the new covenant. I'm having a problem with that. There's no damn way we're in the new covenant. Yahushua said, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. That's the ultimate prize. That's the ultimate goal. Anyway, I hope this is edifying, trying to expose these false doctrines. Now, when you're dealing with doctrines and debates, you'll have some people who believe what I say here, and they'll do a video, and then people will believe what they say there. But all we're doing is putting it out there through the Spirit for the elect to wake up. That's all I have on that. Shalom.